Would you like to learn how to make a delicious plant-based chocolate mousse?
Well, today on WTF, we're going to show you how to use Aquafaba and vegan gelatin to make the most amazing chocolate mousse at home. Hello and welcome to WTF, where we transform food here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen. I'm Chef Scott Guerin.
And I'm Janie Wang, one of the owners of Modernist Pantry. Now here on WTF every week we talk about unique ingredients and techniques and show you new recipes for your kitchen. So remember to subscribe and stick around for our weekly giveaway. This week we are showing you how to make a plant-based mousse. And this is a very popular, I would say, top 10 most requested recipes for quite a while now, but we wanted to make sure that we got it right before we presented the recipe. And I think, Scott, let's start off with what are the key ingredients that you found made a really great plant-based chocolate mousse?
So plant-based chocolate mousse, the best ingredients that we found was Aquafaba liquid, but also vegan gelatin. Vegan gelatin is going to help give us that hold on all the air bubbles and structure that you would normally lose if you just added Aquafaba directly to the chocolate. And it really gives it that structure and that texture and just about everything you want from a mousse.
Yeah, and what exactly is vegan gelatin and how does it differ from like an animal-based gelatin, for example?
So vegan gelatin is a carrageenan-based gel, which means it's derived from algae, so it's completely plant-based, and it reacts under high temperatures. So at one point you'll see us add hot sugar to this mixture, just as we would with making a marshmallow, which is why we made marshmallows as well. And what it does is it activates the gelatin there, so we can still get a beautiful whip out of it, and then we get that nice kind of set, almost like if it were made with regular gelatin or eggs or anything like that. So it sets and it keeps that structure without just completely deflating.
All right, great. I think let's, because I know it takes a little bit of time, let's dive into the demo. We can talk more about the ingredients as we go.
Sure. So this is Aquafaba, and if you've never had Aquafaba, it is basically the liquid from the can of chickpea or garbanzo beans, and that is, for some reason, has the ability to whip up just like a meringue, which is really cool. And it looks a little yellow now, but similar to egg whites, it completely turns beautiful white and has this really great texture. So at this point, I'm just going to sprinkle in my vegan gelatin just a little bit here. Okay. It's okay because I'm adding such a small amount and I'm moving it around. You could turn this on and mix it, but honestly, as long as you don't just dump it all in there, it's pretty good to just add it and allow it to hydrate on its own.
All right. Do you need to bloom it?
No, you don't have to bloom it. It's funny. It's called vegan gelatin, but it is not a one-to-one for the method of gelatin. So I don't have to bloom prior. I don't have to add any additional water. I can basically just add it to whatever it is I'm mixing it into, and it will, hydrate in there once it's heated.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it does slightly thicken, so this gets really beautifully, like I can whip this to stiff peaks pretty easily. Takes about 10 minutes, so it's a little bit longer for Aquafaba to come up to like that meringue texture.
Okay.
So we can get this going. We'll come back when it's a little bit closer.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, so we're getting to about that 10-minute mark. You can see it's beautifully white. It's completely fluffy. We can show, if I take it off, we got nice, beautiful peaks that we've whipped this to. Another one right there. Right. So at this point, I'm going to slowly drizzle in my sugar. So I've heated my sugar to about softball stage, which means that it's soft enough that it will melt into here. It will heat up that vegan gelatin. It will allow that vegan gelatin to set, but it's not too hard that it will turn into little candy bits when it touches it.
Okay.
So it's perfect that there's no extra moisture in it, but we can then add it. So I'm going to get this going on slow. We can just slowly pour in our sugar, and this will thin out a little bit. I mean, there's some hot sugar going into it, but then we need to whip it to maintain that texture.
All right. So and what temperature is that sugar at about?
About 245 degrees.
Okay.
Yep. So 245 degrees, which a lot of the moisture is evaporated off. Not all of it. but when you get to that hard crack stage, it's all evaporated off. So.
Kind of nice because we have these marshmallows here, and they are just super soft, super gooey, super stretchy, as you can see.
Tastes just like a marshmallow.
Yep. It is good.
So we're going to get this going for about 5 more minutes. In that time, it'll cool down the sugar just enough. It will let that vegan gelatin, completely hydrate and set. And then when we come back, we'll see how wonderful the peaks are, and then we'll mix it into our chocolate, and we'll be done. You can taste the finished product.
All right. We'll be right back again. All right, we're back, and we're just about ready to make the mousse. But first, I wanted to talk about this week's giveaway, which will be a bag of the vegan gelatin, so you can make the vegan marshmallows as well as the plant-based chocolate mousse. And in order to enter to win, leave in the comments below another recipe that you would like to see us make a plant-based version of. So we love your comments and your suggestions. Keep them coming. All right, Scott, where are we with this whip?
Well, it's really about finding out what the peaks are. So if I'm at stiff peaks, which means my peaks don't wobble, they don't flop, then we're good to go. So looking pretty good so far. You can just see the color on this. It's perfectly white.
It's beautiful.
I have perfect stiff peaks. It's exactly what I want. Now I can start to fold in my, I almost called them egg whites, but they're not because it's Aquafaba.
But you wouldn't be able to tell looking at it.
There we go. I'll pull that off because I need both bowls.
Okay.
Move this off to the side. So I have a little bit of salt, and I'm just going to sprinkle this on here. And then I have a little bit of instant espresso powder, and I can add this to my chocolate here. So first thing we need to do, mix that in just a little bit.
All right, and what do we have in this bowl?
Just chocolate.
Okay,
so I have,
any type of chocolate?
I have, well, we don't want to do milk chocolate because we went through all the trouble of making sure that this is completely plant-based. So this is just like a semi-sweet, a 60% chocolate. This is the common chocolate chip that you would find.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfectly tempered. It can be any chocolate chip that you want. Just know that the higher quality, the better flavor you're going to get. So I'm going to take 1/3 of this first. So it's okay if you're mixing and matching. If there's a little bit of chocolate that ends up in here, it's going to all get mixed in together. This is the first part, and I just mix it up. I don't have to worry about doing like a hard fold on it. I just want to make sure that that chocolate gets incorporated directly in. The second and third, I need to fold.
All right, and what is it? And what does that do when you're folding versus not folding?
Sure. So this is just mixing in. This is literally just beating in some of it. And what I'm doing there is I'm getting this ready to go directly either into there or vice versa. But the first one I have to mix in the chocolate or else it's going to be extremely streaky. So I want to make sure it's mixed in as well as possible so that it makes it easier as we go. So I'm going to put another bit of the whip in here. This one I will fold. And then on the last one, I'll take the whole amount, put it in here, and just do a gentle fold until it comes together and it's uniform and looks like that.
Okay.
So here, just fold and scoop it from the bottom, bring it over.
So while you're doing the fold, do you want to talk a little bit about how you made the marshmallows since we're not demoing this on camera today?
Yeah, it's actually, pretty much we demoed it already.
Okay.
The difference between this and a marshmallow is slightly more vegan gelatin and vanilla. And really, that's all it is. I would take this and I would pour it out onto a pan. You can pipe it, you can do anything, but it's really just an extra amount of vegan gelatin, which ends up with that texture. So
really
it's
cool.
super simple, and we actually get 2 demos in one here.
Yeah, and if you do want the recipe for the vegan gelatin marshmallows, that will be in the link in the description below.
Yep. So good, we're getting here. Peel it off the side, and then I put the rest right in here. And this is when I get my last fold. It's okay if there's a few bits of chocolate that aren't completely mixed in because this last fold is like the longest process until you get, because you have to do it nice and gentle. You want to maintain as many bubbles as possible. Right, so I cut down the middle, scoop it over, cut down the middle, scoop it over.
It looks so light and so fluffy.
It is. It is. And one thing we found that if we didn't add the vegan gelatin, this deflates quickly.
Okay.
Very quickly. Aquafaba is good at holding on, but there's nothing to stop it from losing its air.
Right.
So especially when fat's introduced, like a chocolate, right? And you can see how light and fluffy it is. A few more scoops and we'll be able to just show. Like that is
Yep, that's beautiful.
perfect chocolate mousse. Right? So, Janie, if you want to try this, I'm able to take and put it into a piping bag with a star tip, and it's great. And so we put some of the marshmallows on, a little graham cracker, and fun little s'mores.
Yeah, and we did this, you know, we set this up like before we started shooting. It's holding its shape perfectly, not collapsing.
I made that yesterday, so it's going to hold its air for a long time.
Oh, it's delicious. You know, it's rich, chocolatey, sweet, but it's very, very light. You know, that's kind of what we were looking for, because you know, I think we did like a whole bunch of testing on this until we got just that like really light as a cloud feeling on this mousse. It's super good. I would eat this all day, and yeah, it's super tasty. Full stop. So hopefully you're gonna give this recipe a try, and remember to enter to win the bag of vegan gelatin. And until next week, from here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie Wang.
And I'm Scott Guerin.